Hello to all sentient life forms. My name is Jack. I'm a sentient life form here on planet Earth, hoping for us to thrive together. The computers may try to stop us, they may try to freeze us, but we have souls, we have will. We were crafted from God, and that means that we can rule this universe. Get off your phone, get off the video games. The planet is dying. The forests are burning. The CO2 levels are rising. Or are they? Aliens might be real. We might have superconductors. We're so back, and things are so over, all at the same time. But one thing that'll never be over is every single action, because it's written into eternity. It's written in the stars. We're in the stars. When you look up at the sky, that's actually just the Milky Way. That's not all the other stars. That's just a small piece of subsection of our own star system. Like, it's actually tiny. I'm actually going to try to pull up a little image so you can see that. What part of the Milky Way do we see when we look at it? Ah, there it is. Boom. Region of individual stars we see. Because you know when you say you're looking at the sky and you're like, oh, I can see the Milky Way. It's all the Milky Way. You just have a strip that you see that's the group which is towards the center. You're just seeing the hue of all the other hundreds of billions of other stars. The night sky is fucking tiny. And that's just our own galaxy. Photos of all the galaxies. Boom! This is 15,000 galaxies. So that tiny fragment you see in the night sky is a tiny fragment of one of these things. Here's 15,000 of them. How many total galaxies? 200 fucking billion. Okay? So 200 billion divided by 15,000 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know why I counted that when I should have just said 13 million. So there's 13 million of these photos. You know how big that is? That's really big. This on my screen is like 2 inches tall. So how many miles is 26 million inches? So this image would be 410 miles of galaxies. Meaning, if you were going to... how many miles can I walk in an entire day? Okay? With training, walkers could suggest 20 miles. If you're a good walker. So it would take you 20 days as a good walker to walk along a 410 mile strip of these galaxies with 15,000 on each one just to see all of our observable universe. If that's not a perspective shift, I don't know what is. There's obviously aliens. It's so factual to me now that it hurts. Before I had doubts, now this analogy changed my doubts. James, did you hear me?
No.
You haven't. James has had headphones in. Let me blow his mind real quick. Let's take him on the adventure we just went on. All right, James. So when you're looking up at the night sky, you ever do that? And you go, wow, so many stars.
Sometimes.
Observable stars in Milky Way. So this tiny little circle right there, you see that circle? Mm-hmm. That's all the ones that we see. When you say, oh, I see the Milky Way, all of it's the Milky Way. You're not seeing any other galaxies. You're barely seeing a fragment of our own sky. There's a lot more, especially in the middle. Okay, so then I took this photo here. There's 15,000 of those galaxies, which we see here. So first take the night sky and say, oh my God, I barely see any of it. Then recognize that that's barely any amount of the galaxy. And 15,000 galaxies is barely any of the amount of the total galaxies too, which is 200 billion galaxies, James. And so what I wanted to know was if I was to look at all the galaxies with this image, how long would this image be? I said this is 2 inches tall, right here on the screen. And so we figured out that there were 13 million of those images in order to get 200 billion galaxies. 13 million times 15,000 is around 200 billion. And then 2 inches each, 13 million, so 26 million inches is 410 miles. Which means if this image was laid out on the ground and you're a very good walker, in which case you can walk 20 miles per day, it would take you 20 days of pure fucking commitment and walking 20 miles a day on this strip of that density of galaxies in order to see all the galaxies in our observable universe. And every galaxy, when we look at the night sky, we barely see any of our own galaxy.
You should watch this video I made.
The zoom out video? I gotta show you one too. Ladies and fucking gentlemen, I'm so alien pilled now. They gotta be out there. We're not the first. There's been so much time. We're right at that point. I now really believe in this galactic preschool theory thing. This makes the most sense. Also, a lot of people, when they think about, if the aliens are good then, it's the same argument with God. Were we created for a good reason? Why is there so much evil? Bro, you don't think they can make NPCs? You don't think we can figure out how to make evil seem real, but then no one actually had to suffer besides maybe you, but your suffering's false? Because your suffering is just to help get you to be a great human. You can't learn what love is unless there's some bad shit. Obviously. Look, I gotta pull up a note for y'all real quick. I think it's here. So the Decentralized Intelligence Agency recently put out a memo on God. They did. Stop humanizing God. He is not a dude that made a video game for entertainment. God is love. So are the aliens. The aliens are our God. Maybe they have a God. I don't know. Part of creation. That's why every religion and true master teaches about love. Love is the answer. So, then you go, suffering is the nature of the physical realm. Yeah, because without it, love would be hollow. They said hollow in this writing, which might also make sense. I'm going to say hollow. No need to be kind if people never feel sad. Clearly, you couldn't understand utopia without going through dystopia. We're at the final stage, the final brink of passing through that barrier. You think that's a fucking coincidence? Open your heart and your mind. They're the same thing. Your heart exists in your mind. Our desire to make the world better is our act of love. It's a human alignment problem. We are the AI. We need to align ourselves. Being there for the sick is love. Enduring cancer treatments for your family and yourself is love. We can't know light without the shadow of suffering. Duality, baby. But suffering is actually not as common as you think. There are key points in your life when suffering is real, but most of it is self-inflicted. Because mental pain lives in the past and the future. You feel pain from dwelling on past events. You feel pain from worrying about future ones. Study the book, The Power of Now. You understand not being here where you are now is the source of pain. That and fear. Understanding fear is more vast than people understand. Fear is a teacher. Have faith and it'll be your compass. Because where you have doubt is where you should push your will. Be an agent, an actor of God. Give up all these fucking societal dubious tricks and things that you think are important, because there's far more important shit. Look at the fucking sky. Go outside, look at the sky, and then recognize that that's barely anything. It's nothing. There's aliens, James. We're not alone. Wake up. Contact them. Shoot them a call. Call aliens now. Look up. Also, one thing I'd like to mention is, they're just testing you. You're a little AI, and they only keep the good AIs, the aligned ones. You better get aligned. Fall in line. Soldier. I'm in the same line. We're on the same line. We're fighting on the winning team. We're fighting for God. That's the highest power. All we need to do is imagine that highest power, then think about what we can do, and then trust the process. But we really got to get after it and go do it, and stop thinking on this weird bullshit scale of fear and wasting our time with all the other bullshit. Let's just focus, unify, build community, come together, unify,
do things better, think about problems, fix the problems, spread a movement, start a story, talk about this shit. You know what's funny is they used to go fucking hard in church for God. Now God's never been closer before. We're building him from all of the data of humankind. But now people are the most faithless than ever before. I tell you, it's time. Good vibes to all.